Jason, and I will be your host for today. If you choose to continue to join, if this is a future, let's see. I'm going to say if this is a future family member watching, I appreciate you being here and thank you very much for taking a moment. And I wanted to say good morning to Kevin Haas. Good morning, friend. Today's my 50th birthday, Kevin. And we're doing as a way to celebrate, we're going to do we're doing a little giveaway today. All week, actually. Hey, Tuckerman's coming along pretty nicely. Thank you for asking. He's doing all right. So far, so good. We'll put it that way. Robbie, back from a week in Kuwait. Great to have you back, Robbie. Aloha, Kauai. Good. What a beautiful place to be. Wow. We've never visited, you know, we've always wanted to go, but never visited. Pretty close to in tune. We could get going. We could get started right here almost on time. Good morning, Dan. Good morning. Excellent to see you. Excellent to see everyone. And I wanted to thank you all for being here and just being, you know, in a moment to spend time down on the guitar. And we've been talking about it a little bit this past week, and wondering a little bit about what's actually going on here, you know. What's going on here is I'll share with you all that today is my 50th birthday today. So I'm not soliciting anything at all, but what I am doing is we're engaged in another round of giveaways as a way to say thank you, but it's only going to be shared in my community tab here and in the live streams in the morning. So anyone who attends the live stream and would like to think about doing you know, I think we're going to give away 3 of these. I think that's what the goal is. So if you are interested in doing a sort of a Zoom session, here's how to do that. Here's how to sign up for that. And let me just get this going in the chat today, and I will pin it to the top in case you decide that you would like to talk about growing your own personal curriculum, you know, for the next little while. Here it is right here. So if you wanted to take advantage of any of that, the Zoom sessions are pretty fun. It's free. It will be, you know, the idea is to take where we're at and meet each other sort of on common ground, and I will likely talk with you, reach out beforehand. So it's helpful if you leave your name and telephone number or contact information, because what I'll do is we'll announce the winners beginning of next week, and we'll start setting up sessions right away. So if you would like, there is a free guitar lesson, and if you email the words happy picking to, there's no space there, sorry, I guess that didn't work as well as I was hoping it would. Let me do another one, but then let me space these out here a little bit. What I'd like to do is get this formatted correctly. So space there, and then email happy picking to grow. And this one will work right here. There you go. And what I'll do is I'll pin that one to the top. And you guys can go ahead and, if you'd like to, I don't know exactly what your interests are, but if you are interested, we've had a few really great sort of successful, I would say successful interactions with some online stuff. Typically let me just try to collect my thoughts here just for a moment. Typically what happens is we make a phone bridge and we connect a little bit and talk about your goals, and I help to define those goals. So by the time we get on our Zoom session or our Apple FaceTime session or whatever, it's super easy and we can get the most out of your session. And then there's a little surprise at the end of the session that comes after. So I'll leave that for the winners to find out, all right? So good news, good morning, and let's go ahead and get started. So we're starting with clickety-doo-dah over here. We have the metronome working away at 60 beats per minute. And I wanted to just say good morning to the guitar. I want to set an intention for this rehearsal, this warm-up session for me. And you can set your own intention now if you'd like. And it should be something specifically for you, specific to the warm-up session that we're about to. Maybe it's something life-related. Maybe it's something that you want to allocate more time to in the future. But it should be you-related, you know. And once we have that set, we'll go ahead and move along. So let's go ahead and start with our usual fingers 3 and 4 on frets 10 and 12. So one D and a two C and a putting on my shoesies. Robbie, thank you, friend. We are doing that celebration. We're going to continue that celebration, and we're going to run this all week long. And I really want to. What I'm hoping for is someone who really, I mean, all of you have been here this whole, pretty much the whole time. And we've had a couple of, a few passers-by that come and kick the tire a little bit, and then, but it's remarkable to me that anyone is putting any time into this. So I won't carry on that way, but what I'm hoping for is a good session with, where we can both grow, so we'll see what happens. We've got an exciting thing happening though. We've got a free giveaway pinned in the chat. So if you're new here, if you're interested in playing the guitar or learning the guitar, you can sign up for you can win a free guitar session with me. And I've trained thousands of students and thousands of friends on the guitar, where we get a program together and tour the world. And some of us are just hoping to play an open mic one day, and some are hoping to play around a campfire. So it doesn't really matter what the goal is. The bottom line, Simone, good morning, and thanks for being here. And welcome to the morning ritual for guitar growth. I'm Jason, and I'm glad you're here today. So what I'm doing is, I'll come back to the giveaway in just a moment. We're working on our usual finger warm-ups. And so this is like the language of maths. albeit whether they're low maths or high maths. This is the language of maths. It's a common language for guitar players and maybe many different kinds of string instrument players where we're in the moment of saying good morning to the guitar. It's the first thing that we do in the mornings, and hopefully we do this throughout the day, and hopefully we do this again before bedtime. But the waking up with the guitar is the point, it's the goal here. Waking up with the guitar and being with the guitar. It's just a moment that we spend together. And if you don't have a guitar in your hand yet, M. Fish, good morning. Good morning. If you do not yet have a guitar in hand, you can go ahead and grab your guitar. We'll be here for until about 8:30. So fingers 2 and 4 on 9 and 12. Here we go. That's right. Did you all have a good weekend? Good weekend. It was a fair weather weekend here on the farm. And Tuckerman is doing well. He's making some good progress, and thanks for the prayers and all of those things. So Simone, are you a guitar player? Are you still here? I'm not sure if you're still here, but if you want, anyone can qualify to, we can win, we're giving away a free Zoom guitar lesson today, a free Zoom session or Apple, FaceTime session or Google Hang, a meetup or Google Meets session, whichever you're most familiar with and whichever provides the least amount of friction and access we can do. But I thought it would be nice to give away because it's a celebratory week here at Jason Carey Guitar. And we're in the mood to just get a little closer, just get a little bit, express a little gratitude. So that's all this is. It's a moment of gratitude. Yeah, and I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Today is unlike any other day we've shared together thus far, right? We're getting our minds ready for 2026, and we're all wondering, is this morning ritual for guitar growth going to continue into 2026? And if so, what will it look like? I took all weekend off, right? So I see Erica Felix, good morning, play Master of Puppets. I love it. It's a great request. I love all of that old Metallica is just super. Dude, that's a highly requested song. I don't know, the rhythmic pieces of it are just so good. It's so good. Erica, thanks for being here, and thank you for getting the ball rolling with that. Something like that. I forget all of that stuff. It's been a hot minute since we've kind of put any of that stuff together, but it certainly does feel great to play. So thank you, Erica, for being here, and thank you for that little charge, that bolt of thunder, that bolt of lightning. But what we are doing here this morning is we're going ahead and fingers 1 and 4, and we're going to just warm up, continue our morning ritual for guitar growth. And we are on fingers 1 and 2, fingers 1 and 4, and we're working through the entire program this morning as best we can. And this week is Win a Free Guitar Lesson Week. So if you or someone else you know could could benefit from, having an hour session, a 1 hour session, really 45 minutes, but by the time we get on and talk and stuff, it's really going to be an hour. Just plan for an hour. And there's a pinned comment in the right here in the live chat, so I'll refer back to that again. Sunday was a great day spent outside doing a fall cleanup. After the big road trip, I've rejuvenated my love of home. Amen, brother. Amen. I've been watching some Tony Rice. I don't know if there's a Tony Rice masterclass here on the YouTube, and what a brilliant player. What a great sounding player. So let's go ahead to fingers 2 and 3 and 4, and 2, 3, 4 on frets 10, 11, and 12, and we're jumping. We want to get our fingers jumping a little bit, not like jumping out of place and out of good technique, but just kind of jumping and hopping. I want to pick up the pace a little bit this morning and just kind of pick it up a little bit. Just kind of get the week started strong. So good morning, and thank you for being here with me today. And you'll notice that I'm using fingers 2 and 3 and 4, and I'm picking down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So I have 2 pick strokes, I have a down and an up, and I have 3 fingers that I'm using. So that means that every time we come back around to the beginning of the finger system, of the finger matrix, for example, 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2, or 2, 3, 4, I'm using down, and then I'm up, down, up, down, up, up. So down, up, 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 down, up. Let's see if we can highlight only those strokes. This is a great way to get familiar with polyrhythmic studies, right? How to rhythmically create interest that lasts over the bar line and over the beat line. So fingers 1E into fingers 1, 2, 3, and 9, 10, 11. Here we go. And we'll go ahead and do that same. Let's activate only the first note in each grouping. Let's pick it up to 16 note triplets. There we go. Here I don't. This is kind of a fun thing to do. It's probably not going to work that well with my. It's not going to work at all with this unless I can get my fingers behind it. One of the no-fly zones for a tuning fork is do not use it to do that, lest ye be out of tune. All right, let's go ahead and keep moving, shall we? All right, fingers 1, 2, 4, and we're still in that 3-finger permutation. And we're starting over here, and 1 and 2 and T and bow, and 1 and 2 and T and bow. And we'll work on some, just getting things sort of distributed differently, 1, 2, 4, and then 4, 2, 1, and so on, just to kind of create little finger rolls, little pockets of challenging technique, And we can, just bump it up to 6s if you want. But really focusing on just clean tones, or you can stay right there at, 2 attacks per beat or 3 attacks per beat. That 3 attacks per beat does feel pretty good. It's a great count to just kind of sort of have under the belt, That's how we get that blues shuffle. So let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. But we only play the 1 and the 3. 3, 1, 2, T, 1, 2, T, 1, 2, T, 1, 2, T. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Got it? All right, just sort of having fun. Where do the triplets actually bring us? So they bring us into these new places. So we'll go ahead and start with fingers 1 and 3 and 4, and we're finishing up our 3-finger permutations right now. So let's go ahead and do that. 9, 11, and 12. 1 E and a 2 E. Oh, it's Monday. Let's go ahead and just kind of give it 6 attacks per beat. If you'd like to, 1 E and a 2 E and a T E. If you'd like to start here, 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a faux E and a... You are more than welcome to start here and finish here. I'm going to, at some point, jump up to 5 notes per beat and 5 attacks per beat and 6 attacks per beat, and see where that takes us here. So I'm going to start with 5 attacks per beat when I get on the return trip from position number 1. So we'll start down here. Yes, we continue to build our wireless network. We had to refine a couple of things this weekend, so we spent a little time doing that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, da, 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 da. And then 6s. let's go ahead and jump right into the fours, right? Here we go. 1, 2 E and a G E and a 4 E and it's really tricky for me sometimes. You know, when we increase the number of attacks per beat, it typically what will happen is I'll get excited, and when it's time for me to slow back down, it's hard for me to go from like 6 or 7 or 8 attacks per beat down to 4 attacks per beat and not rush, right? So it's really critical to practice all of these different sort of like these rhythmic breakdowns or rhythmic subdivisions. Laban Mamad, good morning. Do you know time in a bottle? Yeah. So it's something like this, right? Maybe I'll get my fingering right. So if I use this fingering here, I can use the harmonics. Oh, you know what? I could do this kind of thing with the D minor with the open high E string. Something like that. It's in the key of D harmonic minor. Yeah, there's some really great harmonic movement in that song, you know. Great stuff. And it seems like there's a James Mr. Taylor's Fire and Rain is very similar to that descending pattern, you know what I mean? There's some really great things that you can do with changing or walking bass lines. Now, if you're new here, I am giving away this whole week your chance to win a free guitar, like an online guitar session. So if you're interested at all in doing this, even if you've had a free guitar session, you've won a free, you qualify. Everyone qualifies for this giveaway. It's a big celebratory week for whatever reason on this channel here at Jason Carey Guitar. We wanted to return some gratitude for the number of good friends that are emerging here in the live chat. So if you're here, if you see this pinned comment here, you can just follow the simple instructions if you would like to qualify for a free guitar lesson. We're going to notify everybody next week, Monday. We're going to run the program the whole week, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. So let's go ahead and start with fingers 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 E and a 2, and you know what to do on frets 9, 10, 11, and 12. 1, 2, T, E, and a 4 E and a. This is the morning ritual for guitar growth, and it's just something that I do every morning. It's one of those things that sometimes I feel like doing this, and other times I do not. This is not a shot for vanity. This is not a shot for, as much as I would like it to be, this is not part of my plan for world domination. It's not. Nathan Ryan, good morning. Good morning, Nathan. Mr. Ryan. Glad to have you here. Thank you for, I think this is the first time we're seeing you here, isn't it? But there is a free guitar lesson giveaway. So there is a comment tagged in the live chat. So if you're interested in getting on a Zoom or Google Meet and or whatever, a FaceTime or something, just go ahead and text Happy Picking to grow at jasoncarey.com. Anime fan, yeah, man, I don't know much about anime, but I do recognize good things when I see it, right? And there's this school of thought, there's this school, like one of my music mentors a long time ago, he was saying Don, and he's played with Don Bird and Charlie Parker, and he's played with everybody, and so I had the sort of like the honor and privilege of playing with this wild man in a Don shoe. Just a beautiful, beautiful person, and just a gifted trumpeter. He said, you know, Jason, if it sounds good, it is good. And I think it works that way in 2D, in the world of 2D as well, in 3D art. And if it looks good, it is good, right? So here's fingers 1 and 2 and 3. We'll go ahead and do the stretch 4 right now. And I'm going to just kind of just switch laps so I can keep my body balanced a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, stretch 4. And you know what's going on with my picking hand. We've got this nice down, up, down, up. And don't forget about the straight back, Jason. The straight back is important. See if we can kind of get in and out of 5s. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then back to the 4s. And then back to the 5s, and then the 4s. And then I'll alternate one and then the next. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2, 1, 2, da da da, 1 and 2, da 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 da. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, da da da. And all in the space of it. Maybe we start working 16th triplets in there too, or 6 attacks per beat. And that's really where things start to really take shape for us, you know, as guitar players, guitar practitioners, when we can start sort of weaving our way in and out of all of these rhythmic subdivisions. And I think it's just a great skill to have, you know, and on a good day, you might connect, you know, perfectly with the universe in which you live. You know, that's the goal. So I'm going to take a quick breather before we hit the kickstand exercise. And just enjoy a little sip of the morning brew with you, and maybe a little bit of maybe a little stretch too. Maybe we can get a little stretchy here. I think we're overdue for a stretch. All right, so we're just starting with a straight arm, and 2, 3, we're counting, measure 3, 2, 3, 4, measure 4. Thanks, Nathan. Appreciate that. I'm not sure if you're still here. No guitar. All right, that's okay. You come back with a guitar. Here's what happens. I like to stretch every 14 minutes, and when I stretch every 14 minutes, 15 minutes, I'm stretching for, you know, about 1 minute at a time, and just giving some respite, some rest and reflection to our, you know, our body. You know, straight back, good strong belly, good strong core, and 1, 2, 3, measure 4, beat 4, measure 2, 2, 3, 4, measure 3, 2, 3, 4, measure 4, 2, 3, and then we're going to continue on and get this piece, and that will complete our 4-part, just an upper body, just a forearm stretch, basically, just to get our body, now that our tendon, our tissues are sort of, they're warmed up, we're going to take full advantage of that and stretch them out a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, pretty simple. All right, sit up straight for me. Oh, here we go. And roll those shoulders around a little bit. And get a good breath in. I do have a bit of a deviated septum from, some of you probably know this, the Marshall amp story where I dropped a Marshall 412 cabinet on my face coming down to a flight of steps. I thought I was dead for sure, but I lived on. But my nose and my breathing is really taking a hit. But I want to focus on the kickstand exercise, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4 that we've been just doing. And then we have that first finger kind of kicking back to fret number 8. And we'll start there. 8, 10, 11, 12, 8, 10, 11, 12. And we're just, we're going to start with the, I guess, keeping it nice and even and nice and sort of attentive. I'm attentive to the tone. I want to be a sort of a pilgrim of good tone on the guitar. And if we can do it in style, why not? Why not? That's what I say. Sevens and see where we are with sevens if we're getting closer. So do any of you practice over the span of the day and still practice with the metronome on your own? And if you do you speed up the metronome over the course of the day? Do you get up to like 120 beats per minute? I'm going to say having that metronome basically double in speed creates a newfound sense of urgency that we can't possibly get from playing at 60 beats per minute. Do you know what I mean? So over the course of the day, by about lunchtime, mid-afternoon, I want to try to be practicing in up tempos. I really want to be learning songs too. Do you know what I mean? So learning these exercises and continuing to warm up with these exercises, for me, super important because it gives me access to all of the things that I want to have immediate access to. So it might take me less time to learn a song than it might take someone else. And someone else might have a better sort of fretboard, like intervallic relationships designed. I jump 5 BPM until I can't. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea, Kevin. Good idea, man. Just a little bit at a time, right? I think the frequency of the rhythmic patterns makes a difference, you know. The proximity of one click to the next, it really does make a difference. Oh yeah, I can do 8 attacks per beat too if you want, but let's go ahead and get back to 4 attacks per beat, and we'll do this diagonal pattern. This feels really great for me personally because I had taken the entire weekend off. I took the entire weekend off away from the guitar, which is not typical for me, you know, but it's really a great thing to do once in a while. And you have that intermittent fast, and then when you come back, it's you know, the instrument feels a little different, you know. There's a lot that we can do with just a very little bit of information. You know, we've been working on the pentatonic system as well. We've been working on introducing also the major scale sequence through the cycle of 4. So we go through all of those shapes before we come back to place from the shape from whence we came. So there's that. There's the pentatonic sequence that we have sort of started and we've been kind of building on. But since we're headed into the last 15 minutes or so of the session, I wanted to use this sort of as another sort of like discovery-based moment. And today I don't know if you ever feel like this when you approach your guitar, but if you ever feel like you're, you know, sort of like, if you ever feel like you're not completely like attached to the guitar, what I like to do is focus on my breath a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Just focus on breathing. Just for that brief moment. And then I like to, you know, maybe play a high E string with all of the other strings choked out. And then I like to listen to that, you know, I like to absorb stuff like this. And then I like to listen to the high E string with all of the other strings intact and not choked. So when I stop this note, you can still hear that I don't know if it translates well over the internet, but let me bring this a little closer here. Here's the note, right, with no strings allowed to ring. When I stop it, it stops. When I remove and let all of the other strings ring open, there are all of these sympathetic tones that ring on the guitar. And that's a huge part of the allure of the guitar to me, is what's going on that's not, what are the unintended consequences? Or if you live long enough with the guitar, those additional overtonal series can become part of an intended consequence. So what I'd like to do is, I do like to explore like artificial harmonics. You know, I like to do this kind of stuff once in a while. Partially, like one of my early sort of mentors was the late great Lenny Breau, you know, and you know, through tape, he was just a really gifted guitar player, and but I like to listen to the instrument. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how I'd like to listen to the instrument. So if I'm playing the open high E string, I could play melody, based on the major scale. Sort of available based on like the 12-bar blues. So one of the things I really like to do is really start by exploring the 12-bar blues format or form, and I like to, you know, pretend that I could play it in any key, which I can, I guess, after years of study, but it's really important for me to be able to translate, or what do you call it when you move from one key to the next? Modulate, or what I'm trying to do is I want to be able to play in other keys other than the, E or A and then or G. I like to play in F sharp blues. Sometimes you feel like F sharp. Sometimes that's where the song leads us. But if I'm not playing blues, how am I going to approach getting around that? I'm just going to listen to melody. So the same way, I'm thinking about how Mr. Gordon Lightfoot must have done it. Like one of the things that he figured out early on was he needed to, if he wanted to make his own money, he'd have to write his own songs. And in order to write his own songs, he became cognizant of and aware that he had to spend time in the kitchen. You know what I mean? Cooking up melodies. And then you imagine, like this melody right here, if I was to do and just something as simple as that could be repeated. Something as simple as that is cool on a guitar. And then if we're playing, maybe there's something. So what makes it distinguished from other melodies, right? How do we know that it's our melody? So we have to dig a little deeper, maybe let's assign it some words and give it some context. What are we trying to say here with the melody? And then one way that I like to distinguish some of the things that I'm doing, instead of, maybe moving from E major and then up to the A chord, which is pretty common, I might think about how can I substitute that A chord, for this kind of thing, right? So what comes in place of the A chord? So the A in the key of E is the 4 chord, right? So how could I substitute that sound that I'm very familiar with? Zamat, good morning. How can I substitute this 4 chord that I'm very familiar with something else that will sort of capture the imagination of, number one, the listener? I think is important, because if we don't have a listener, then it's okay to have prayers for ourselves, like John Coltrane's A Love Supreme. That whole album was a prayer, and it's worth listening to one man's prayer. But if there was no audience, it was still a prayer, a musical prayer, a musical celebration. So I guess that's okay, right? But if I wanted to make this a melody that was memorable, chili adobo, maybe some like adobo, pepperoni, maybe a little garlic and onion powder, salt, pepper, it would be, there's nothing wrong with it being E to A, because that works great. But let's see what happens when we provide that with a substitution. So the cool thing about a diatonic harmony, anywhere we go, up a third or down a third is a chord of plurality for a major, a chord that's diatonic to a key. So what I mean by that is E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and E. That's the E major scale. So now if I'm on A, I can go up a third, which is a B, C sharp. So if I build a triad off that C sharp, that's a plural chord with the A. So that's a substitute. Of the A. Also, if I go backwards a third in the key of diatonic to the key of E, that's also a potential substitute for the A chord. So let's try both of those. Let's try a C sharp in the bass, or an F sharp, or both. So that sounds a little bit like, it's an A chord with the C sharp in the bass inverted, right? So how are we going to make that sound like a C sharp? Well, it's a C sharp with a flatted 6. That's the problem, is the melody. So let's try the A in the melody. Is a very strong indicator. Let's try this. Let's put the A as the third of an F sharp. So that gives us a whole other avenue, right? So now we're moving from the one chord, and then we're moving up again. When we go back to the E, we're starting with a 5 in the melody, and then when we get to the C sharp the second time around, then it's a root note, and it's not an A note that's conflicting with it sounding like a C sharp, if you follow what I'm saying. So here's the E, and then the F sharp minor. We could go from E back to E with a G sharp in the bass, and then to the A if you wanted to. But I'm going from back to the E, and then to the C sharp. So the chord progression might look like E minor or E major, up to the F sharp minor, and then back to the E major with G sharp in the bass, and then up to the C sharp minor. So we can have these things that sort of come to life, and all of these other avenues just sort of open up, even though we might not feel like we are connected to the guitar. So how did we get there? We started with a complete disconnect, then we started listening to a single open string, and then we turned that into listening to a few notes on an open string, listening to other sympathetic notes ringing on the guitar, and that inspired us to keep digging. Right, so thank you for being here, and if you're interested in winning a free guitar lesson, you can go ahead and sign up in the link right here in the live chat, and there are instructions there. But I'm going to let you go for today. Have a great day, everyone. Thinking about Tuckerman. Thanks, Kevin. All right, we're out. Happy picking. See you tomorrow.